everyone, welcome to BISP Solutions. I am Preeti, working as Oracle Fusion Functional Consultant. So in today's video we will see what is the accounting method that to be used in the project portfolio management. So in our last session we have seen how to create the journal entry rule set. Now in today's session we will see where to assign the journal entry rule set in the Oracle Fusion Project Portfolio Management. First, we will take an overview of the topics that we have finished till date. So, in our first session, we have seen how to create the implementation users. Then, we have seen what are the roles that you have to provide to that implementation user. Then, we have seen at which level the project module works and what are the data access you have to provide to your user so that he can create the configuration related to project module. Then we have seen how to create the reference data set. As we know that project module works at business unit level, so we have seen all the functions related to the business unit. Then we have seen how to create the department and how to classify that department into the two different organizations. That first is task owning organization and next is expenditure organization. Then we have seen an additional functionality which is available in the Oracle Fusion, which was not earlier available in the EBS, that is project unit. If you have different line of business, then you can create the project unit and you can use it for the reporting purpose. Then we have seen how to create the organization tree. While creating the organization tree, you have to mention all the organization that you have created with the organization classification. While creating any transaction for project portfolio management, you have to keep in mind one thing, that organization should be enter in your organization tree. Then only you will be able to use that organization in your project portfolio management module. Then we have seen the tasks related to the accounting calendar periods, and also project have one more functionality which is not available in any other module, that project can use its own accounting calendar. If your business require to use different accounting calendar or different accounting periods for project purpose, then you can create your own accounting calendar for the project purpose specifically. Here we have also seen how to link the implementation user with your employee user. Then we have seen how to create the template and how to create the task structure for the template, or you can say for the project. Then we have seen how to create the project. For creating the project, a user should have data access at business unit level, and there are three specific roles on the basis of which you have to give the data access to your user. Those roles are project accountant, project administrator and project manager. Then we have seen how to create the revenue category, expenditure category and unit of measure. After creating all these three, you have to assign these three tasks to your expenditure type class, and expenditure type class is a very mandatory setup in the project module. Then we have seen if you want to track your asset on the basis of some additional information, you can create the project class category. This is not a mandatory setup, it completely depends on your business requirement. Then we have seen how to create the service type, work type, project status flow, project roles and then resource class. Then we have seen how to create the project plan type, what are the planning that you have to do while creating the project plan type. When you create the project plan type, it is used for planning purpose, and when you create the financial plan type, it is used for budgeting purpose. In the project plan type, you can do the scheduling for the dates and also plan the cost. In the financial plan types, you can create the budget at project level, whereas project plan type works at task level. Then we have seen how to create the rate schedules. When you assign any resource in your project, On that time you will use the rate schedules. Then we have seen how to create the labor costing rules, labor costing multiplier, and after creating rate schedules and labor costing rules, you have to assign both these tasks while creating the organization costing rules. So whenever you will assign any resource to your project, system will pick the rates for that resource from organization costing rules task. Then we have seen that while creating the transaction in the project, you will see that at the same time it will transfer to your general ledger module. So for that purpose you have to do the subledger accounting configurations in the application. So we have seen the overview of subledger accounting, then we have seen the description rule, mapping rule. Then in the next session we have seen account rule and journal entry rule set. So these are the today's topics, that is accounting method. Then we will see how to activate the subledger journal entry rule set assignment, specify ledger options and transaction source. So let's move to our application. So log into your application. So in yesterday's session we have seen how to create the subledger journal entry rule set. Today we will see how to use those journal entry rule set in our application. Go to setup and maintenance. Select project financial management as the setup area. Go to project accounting. Click on the task, that is manage subledger journal entry rule sets. Expand this search option and give the name here. So you can see these are the subledger journal entry rule sets that we have created. Now I will tell you where to use these subledger journal entry rule set. Go to accounting methods. So here we have to create one accounting method, and there you have to give the journal entry rule sets that you have created. So while creating the transaction, what system will do, system will pick the accounting method, and from there it will read the journal entry rule set that you have created. So whenever you are creating the accounting method, you can create from the existing one. The purpose of using the existing one is that whatever the event class required for modules are already assigned in this accounting period method, because this accounting method is predefined by the Oracle. So whatever the event class are there in the application, you can find there by default, and all the rule sets are assigned there automatically. So what I will do, I will use the standard accounting method of Oracle. So search for it. You can see here created by. So what I will do, I will duplicate the accounting method already created by Oracle. So you can see here, this is the standard accounting method which is created by Oracle, and this is predefined. Now what I will do, I will duplicate this accounting method. Give the name here. to which chart of accounts you want to associate this accounting method, you have to select here. So this is the chart of accounts we are working with. Click on save and close. So you can see here the accounting method. Under accounting method, all the sub modules you can see here: asset, cash management, cost management, payables, receivables. So you can see here the event class, event type and rule sets are already assigned. So if in case as per your business requirement you are aware of the event classes and the rule sets, you can create your own. But in most of the cases what we do, we simply duplicate it from the accounting method that is predefined by the Oracle, and then we do the required modifications in the existing accounting method. Now you can see here the accounting method related to project costing, that is related to project module. You can see the status here incomplete. It's all because yesterday we have made some changes to our journal entry rule set, therefore this status is showing as incomplete. Now what we will do, you can see these are the event classes that are standard. So let me open the duplicate application here. Go to setup and maintenance. Select here project financial management. Select project accounting. Now go to subledger journal entry rule sets. Here we will search for the rule sets that we have created. So these are the rule sets that we have created. Now go to our accounting method page. So you can see here we have created the labor cost. You can see here, and there is also a labor cost which is standard and provided by the Oracle. So whatever the event class you are seeing on the screen are the standard rule set for labor cost. Now we have created our own rule set. So how we can assign it here? Now first what we have to do, you have to end all the standard rule set, and then we can assign our own rule set, because in the date range we cannot have two rule set working at the same time. So at a time only one rule set can work. So what we will do, we will end this standard rule set and then we will provide our rule set. So for this purpose you have to click on this labor cost and you have to end it here once. So we have ended usage cost, miscellaneous, labor and the burden cost is left. Now you have ended the existing standard rule set. Now what we will do, now we will add from this create icon our journal entry rule set that we have created. Now click on this add icon, select here the event class, select the labor cost, select event type as all, now in the rule set select your rule set that you have created for labor purpose. So this is the one. Now give the start date here where you ended the existing rule set. After that day you can give the date here. Again click on this create icon, take it as labor cost adjustment, select the rule set that you have created for labor cost adjustment. So this is the rule set that we have created for this labor cost adjustment. Again give the next day date here, and you have to do this for all the rule sets that you have created. Let's go for miscellaneous cost. Give the date here. Select the burden cost adjustment rule set. Go for usage cost now. So we have created our own rule set here by ending the existing rule sets. Now there is a one mandatory step that you can see the status here as incomplete. It should be complete or active. So for that you have to create on this activate tab. Click on yes. Now you can see here the activate journal entry rule set assignment process is complete. Click on OK. Now if in case you can see here in the journal entry rule set the status is active. When you click on this activate tab, if any of the rule set that you have created and assigned it here, if it will be having the status as incomplete, then it will show the error here. It didn't throw any error here because the rule set that you have assigned to accounting method, the status is active for all of them. But in case the status is incomplete, then system will show error. Right now this accounting method is activated. Now click on save and close. Okay, so there is some problem in the burden cost. Go here, let's check. given the date as 31st December 22 and I give the start date as 1st January, but system is creating some problem. So I will check this and will let you know, because we have taken the right dates for ending and for starting, but there is some issue. So system is throwing some error. So I will check this and will revert to you. The application is showing some error. We have taken the right dates to end and start. and system has also taken the status as active but throwing some error. It can't be overlapped because we are ending it on 31st/12/22 and we are starting on 1st January 23. So there must be some error in the application. So let's select it as cancel. We'll check the error and we'll let you know. Again, go to standard accrual. So I've shown you how to give your own rule set in the accounting method. Let's duplicate it once again and I will show you where to assign this accounting method so that you can have impact of these journal entry rule set in the project module. Select the chart of accounts here and then click on save and close. Let's try one more time. Go to usage cost. Now assign your rule sets that you have created. Click on this create icon. select the start date as 1st January 23 because we have ended the existing rule set on 31st December 2022. Select the labor cost adjustment, select all as event type. Let's create for last usage rule set. Give the date here. Now again click on create icon and create the last rule set, usage cost adjustment. Click on this activate tab, click on yes. I hope this will get activated now. So you can see the status here active. So what we have did, we have ended the existing rule set, and then the rule set that we have created, we assigned it here, and we have taken the start date after 1 day of the date we ended the existing rule set. Now click on save and close. Now how this accounting method will have impact on project module, how system will be able to use the rule set that we have assigned to this accounting method. So what we have to do, we have to assign this accounting method at the ledger level. So for that, go to financial reporting structures. First go to project accounting. So we have seen how to activate the rule set. So there is one more way to activate the rule set that we have provided in the accounting method. here you have to select the accounting method. So this is our accounting method. Go to subledger application, select the project costing here. So you want to activate only the rule set that had incomplete status, or you want to do it for all. So click here no, and then click on here submit. Click on OK. So there are two ways to activate the rule set. First, you can do it from the accounting method page, and then we have a specific task for it, that is activate subledger journal entry rule set assignment. Now you have created the accounting method. How system will read which accounting method should have impact on the project module. So when you will create your accounting method for project, you will have to assign it to your ledger, otherwise your transaction will get failed. So if you are not assigning your accounting method on the ledger level, then there will be no use of it. So what we will do, we will go to financial reporting structures here. And here you have to go to specify ledger option. You can see the task here, that is specify ledger option. And in the primary ledger, select the ledger. You can see here US primary ledger, and this is the chart of accounts that we are using. Select this data and click on save and close. Now you can see here it is asking you for subledger accounting purpose what is the accounting method that you want to use. So here we will select our accounting method, the one that we have created now. So this is the one. Now when you will select your accounting method here, it will fetch the accounting combination and rule set from this accounting method. Now click on save and close. So we have seen how to create the accounting method and how to activate the subledger journal entry rule set assignment, and we have seen how to assign our accounting method in the ledger option. Now we will see what is the transaction source in the project module. So for creating the transaction in the project module, you have to create the transaction source. Transaction source identify the source of transaction that you import into Oracle Fusion project costing. You control the transaction import and processing by specifying the source, document and document entry options. The transaction source can be classified into two categories. So there are some predefined sources which are provided by the Oracle itself, and there are some external sources of transaction which are called third-party application sources. So for creating any transaction in the projects, we need to create transaction source. Transaction source is nothing but the identification of from which module your expenditure is booked. So we will move to our application to see how to create transaction source there. So for that you have to go to functional area of project costing base. You can see here the task, that is manage project transaction source. Click on it. So you can see here these are the predefined by Oracle, that is Oracle Fusion Payable, Oracle Fusion Purchasing, Oracle Fusion Cost Management, Oracle Fusion Projects, and the external sources are predefined, are third party sources. You can see here there are two type of transaction sources. One is predefined, that is the transaction sources starting with Oracle is the predefined by Oracle, and third party application sources are the ones that are starting with the external. So let me explain at least one of the transaction source. Let's take Oracle Fusion Payable. Scroll it down. So while creating the transaction source, you will create the transaction source, then you have to create the document or select the document. So document is what are the information that you are importing into the project. So these are the documents, and under documents you have to select the document entry, that means what kind of items that you want to import into the project. So come to the Oracle Fusion Payables. So in the payable, these are the documents that you will import into the project module from the payables, like expense report, intercompany invoice, inter-project invoice, payment, supplier invoice commitment. Now here, while creating the document, you can select whether it is a commitment source, commitment type, what kind of cost you want to import through this document. You can select here, like in the expense report only raw cost will be imported. So it means if you are not able to see the green tick here, that means you have disabled the burden cost amount option. Now here it is asking for create raw cost accounting entries. Say in case you are importing any transaction from the payables, and in the payables the journal entry already being passed, so you will not allow to pass the journal entry in the project module. So what you will do, you will disable that option. You won't be able to pass the journal entry for this transaction. Then you can see the green tick in the create adjustment accounting journal entries. This means if there are any adjustment entries, then you can pass the journal entry for the same. Now let's come to the document entry. So while creating the expense report, what kind of information you can import to the project module from payables while taking the expense report from payables to project, item cost and non-recoverable tax. Let's come to supplier invoice for better understanding. So when you will import the supplier invoice from the payable to project, then these items can be import like freight, exchange rate variance and item cost. So in this way you can create your own transaction source, and if you want to use the existing one, you can use the predefined, and for creating the new transaction source you have to click on this create icon. So let's create one transaction source. In the projects you cannot create the transaction without creating the transaction source, therefore you can use the standard transaction source that already predefined through Oracle, or you can configure it as per your business requirement. So let's create one transaction source. So this is the processing set size. It means how many transactions you want to process at single time. I am taking it as 1000. Now click on save and close. Now I have created the source, and now I will create the entry. Scroll it down and click on this create icon. select the start date here, from which date this document will be in effect. Now here it will ask you whether you want to import the raw cost amount. I am enabling this. Allow duplicate references for creating the journal line with the same reference number. For that purpose you can enable this checkbox. Whether you want to import the burden cost, I am taking it as no. Allow override of person organization, no. Now in the accounted in the source application, no. If there is no entry passed, then you can pass the entry in the project module. Say already entry has been passed there, so you can select for the adjustment entry and for the imported account cost when project periods are closed. But in the source application there was no entry passed, so while transferring that to project I can select to pass the entry in the project module. Now click on this yes, create raw cost accounting journal entries. So whether I want to allow it for adjustment entry, take it as yes. Now click on save and close. Now we have created the transaction source and we have created the document. Now I will create the document entry. Click on this create icon. Let's create for labor. Let's allow this document entry for adjustment. If we have made any mistake in the document entry of labor, then allow it for reversal purpose. Allow modification to unprocessed transaction. If there is any transaction which are under process and it is not transferred to project module yet, so what we will do, we can make any required changes. Enable this checkbox. Select the expenditure type class here. So I am taking it as straight time and click on save and close. Again click on create icon. So I am enabling it for reversal. Also, if there are any changes to be made until it is processed, we can make the changes. Let's create one more for burden transactions. Select the expenditure type class as burden transaction and now click on save and close. So in this way we can create the transaction source, document and document entry. And without creating the transaction source, you won't be able to create any transaction in the project module. So in today's session we have covered how to create the accounting method and where to assign this accounting method so that system can pick our journal entry rule set. In the sub ledger or in the specified ledger option level, you have to assign your accounting method. Then we have seen how to activate the journal entry rule set. There are two ways. From the accounting method, you can activate your rule set, or there is a specific task that is activate subledger journal entry rule set assignment. From there you can activate the rule sets that you have created, and then we have seen how to create the transaction source. So thank you so much for joining today's session. Have a good day. In case you have any query, please feel free to reach out to us. Thank you so much.